Two fields, 15 lines of code just to print and compare them. I'm Kai, this is Fun with Learning Technology. Today I'll cut almost all of that down to one line. And before you brace for some heavy library, you don't need one. This is a single decorator, already in the standard library. Same class, a fraction of the typing. Let's see what it actually buys us. That's it. 6 lines instead of 15 and it prints and compares correctly. Here's the trick. Dataclass reads your type hints and writes the boilerplate for you at class creation time. So what did we actually get for free? 3 methods, a constructor that assigns every field, a print method that shows them nicely, and an equals check that compares field by field. That's the boilerplate we just deleted. Now, a gotcha. If you write items equals an empty list directly, every single card would secretly share the same list, a classic Python trap. Default Factory builds a brand new list for each instance instead. I've been bitten by that exact bug before. Mutable defaults are sneaky. You might wonder, why not just use a dictionary? A dictionary has no fixed shape. Cart of code total is one typo away from a silent bug. A name tuple is fixed but frozen and clunky to update. A data class gives you named type fields your editor actually checks and you can still change them. In short, data class is the Dict you can trust. Sometimes you want a value that can't change once created. Think of a config setting passed around your whole app. Add frozen equals true, and any attempt to reassign a field raises an error instead of silently corrupting your data. But data class alone doesn't stop every mistake. Watch the status field, it's just a string. Typo it as PENDNG and Python says nothing. Your ship check silently fails and you find out in production. We fixed the boilerplate problem. Now we've got a validation problem. An enum, short for enumeration, is just a fixed list of name choices. Now pending, active and done are the only options that exist. Misspell one and Python errors immediately instead of failing quietly weeks later. That typo bug from before literally cannot happen anymore. Here's a subtlety worth knowing. Every time you write status.active, you get back the exact same object, not a copy. That's what singleton means. So comparisons are cheap and reliable. And if you don't care about the actual values, auto handles the numbering. So you're not maintaining 1, 2, 3 by hand. Quick pause. If status is typed as a status enum, but I assign it the plain string active instead of status.active, does Python stop me or let it slide? Think about it and drop your guess in the comments before the next slide. I'll tell you the answer right after. So here's the answer. Data class does not enforce types at runtime. It trusts you and your editor's type checker. The real protection is that you now naturally reach for status.active, not a raw string, because the enum is right there self-documenting the valid options. Combine the two, data class gives you structure, enum gives you a closed set of valid states. Clean. My honest take, reach for data class by default the moment the class is just holding data. There's almost never a reason to handwrite that boilerplate anymore. Reach for enum the moment a field only ever takes a handful of known values. They solve different problems, but they show up together constantly. So we went from 15 lines of init, reaper, and EQ down to one decorator, and from a silent string typo to an error you can't miss. That's data class and enum working together, less code to write, and states that can't quietly go wrong. If boilerplate like this has bitten you before, tell me where in the comments. That's what decides the next lesson.